Here we are. I am Ray, and they've kept this secret hidden from you because if you ever found this out, you would never be able to be a slave again. Now see if you can see this for yourself. Ooh, nice dark marker today. First of all, these are not boobs. What were you thinking? They are the eyes of judgment. You see, from the moment we are born, there are only two things that exist. There is infinite change. You see? A hobo's paradise. Let's get rid of this. You're in your mother's womb, and then you're born. Change. Then you grow up. Change. More change. And then when you go to sleep at night, what happens? You go into the dream state. Another infinite array of changing experiences. And then you go into the deep sleep state. Another changing experience because you wake back up and here you are. More change. See if you can find anything that is not a changing experience. It's impossible because the moment you experience it, it's an experience, right? And if you pay attention, you'll see that that experience changes. It comes and then it goes. But what is the one constant behind it all? From the moment you're born until the moment you die. What is it? Is it not you? Who else would it be? If you can come to this realization, you will be free. And you can see how it's not some kind of philosophical something you gotta believe on faith. You just gotta see it with your own two eyeballs. Maybe that's what these were. Balls. Look at all these balls. These are actually worms, let me be clear. But really think about it. You are there, you are the one constant your whole life. Which, what does that mean? What does this imply? Well, mathematically speaking, if this is the change, well then this can be the unchange. Unchang. You. Now what is the unchang? It's eternal. What is unchanging is eternal. Because it never came, and it will never go. It is always right here, right now, no matter what happens. And what is eternal? It's God. But we don't see this because we identify with our changing experiences. We look at our body, we say, I am this body. But the body is a changing experience. Are you not aware of your body? And how it changes? And we say, well, I am my mind. But isn't your mind not always too changing? My personality is changing. Everything is change. Except you. But we have lived our whole lives not knowing our true selves. And this was the whole premise of The Matrix. Have you not watched it? It's been like 30 years, friend. We live in an illusion because we identify with the change and not with our true self as the unchanging. And you see, here's the thing. Let's just erase these real quick. Whenever you observe anything, there has to be two things. There has to be you, and there has to be the object that you observe. So you look at your body and say, am I my body? Well, can you observe your body? Yes, I can observe my body. Well, that means it cannot be you, because then who is the one observing? Can you observe your thoughts? Well, then you cannot be your thoughts, because no matter what you observe, there always has to be you observing it. And what happens is that, well, when you live from this state, you see this space right here? There is space between you and literally everything. Every changing experience, you are already free from all the suffering of this worldly existence. And you are beyond death, because you are the eternal. That is why they say on the spiritual path, when you realize God, you become fearless. Because fear only arises from the body, from the mind. Those two things that don't want to die, but will. But not you. There is a part of you that is your true nature that is already free. Free from suffering, free from pain, free from it all. But only because we have this personal identity with the objects of our experiences, are we attached and get pulled all over the place? Therefore, we are not free. We are a slave to our environment. We're a slave to our body. We're a slave to our mind. We're a slave to the forces of evil in the world. That's the whole game of evil. Let's look at it this way. There's something I call the monster mind, and it's the source of all ignorance and evil in the world. So when we look at, things in the news, we think that, there's these evil reptilians taking over the world. That's not good. But the fact is, there is only one source of it all, temporarily manifesting in these different forms. The monster mind possesses the host and manipulates it to do its bidding so that it can feed off its energy. And this might manifest in you as the voice of, the bully in your mind, always beating you up, telling you can't do this, you can't do that, you're no good. And then we believe it, so therefore we give our power away to this force of ignorance and evil, and it ruins our lives. So too, on a grand scale, the monster mind is working its magic, trying to enslave the masses, so that it can steal all of their juices. A battery in the Matrix. These were the aliens in the Matrix. But there is only one. And the whole game of the monster mind is to get you to believe in the illusion, that which is not real, because only in ignorance, in unconsciousness, in darkness, do the forces of the demonic have any power at all. So here's the illusion right here, this little ball. And so long as you're in the ball, you're not having a ball, because the forces of the demonic have influence over you. Because you have been manipulated into believing what you are not. But once you become free from ignorance, free from the illusion, well, the forces of darkness have no power over you anymore. Because what is the truth? What is awareness? It's light. And what power does the darkness have in the presence of the light? It has no power. But we don't have to go out into the world and, fight the forces of darkness and fight evil. We just have to overcome the evil in our own selves, the ignorance in ourselves. And then we, by default, cleanse the world of its ignorance and its darkness. And that is why you see a lot of people become martyrs in the world, because they're trying too hard to be the hero, to fight the evil bad guys. But the bad guy is in you. All you have to do in this life is overcome your own ignorance. And you will be free from the ignorance of the world. But so long as we believe the lies of the monster mind, we are a slave. The only prison in existence is your own mind, and you are the prisoner and the jailer. But you can let yourself out at any moment, because the door was never even locked. The monster mind has to get you to believe that it is locked. And this is the whole game of life. Without this villain, there would be no life. So it has to play this game to manipulate you into believing illusion, and then you try to escape it and become free. Return to the light, from darkness to light, from unconsciousness to awareness, from ignorance to truth. And that is our spiritual journey. And that is why it is called awakening and enlightenment. Because you're waking up from this dream that is not real. And you're coming into contact with the true nature of reality. By discovering your true self. And what you will see is that the monster mind only attacks you personally. It only attacks your body, it only attacks your mind, your ego, your little personal life. And because we are attached to this person, this ego, we believe its lies. And that is why we suffer. Because think about it. If the monster mind comes and you get a negative thought about your health or something like that, Well, if you're living from the ego state, now you're going to be freaking out a little bit. Oh, wait, I wonder if I'm going to get sick. And if you ruminate on that and you don't know how to stop your negative thoughts, it will get worse and worse and worse. And you will feel worse and worse and worse. But once you realize that you're the eternal, well, what does it matter? You're not attached to the body. You're free. So you're not living in fear anymore. Anymore. Doesn't mean you don't take care of the body. It just means you're not attached to it. And you become free from the experiences that you go through. And in this place of freedom, there's great peace and relief. Because, well, what you find is that because we're so attached to our changing experiences, we're always trying to hold on. We suffer when the changing experiences change. Because we're trying to hold on to what we want, and what we want is going away. Everything falls away. The only way to find true inner peace and be free is to be non-attached. Because, well, it's going to change regardless of what you want. Life isn't always going to go the way you want. But if you accept life exactly as it is, well, then there's no resistance anymore. And when there's no resistance to life, there is no suffering. And you'll see every time you really feel suffering, if you pay attention, it will be because life in some way isn't going the way you expect it or want it to. So you get frustrated and annoyed. And in that same moment, you can relax, take a deep breath, return to the present moment and realize there is no problem. Because you tap in temporarily to the part of you that is already free, that does not suffer. Because what you are is the eternal. It cannot be destroyed. It cannot be hurt by anything. And the whole spiritual game is to tap into the divine within you. That's what all the spiritual teachers were talking about. And really all it takes is, well, a desire to awaken. You just take one step at a time. And you embark on the journey in the first place, whereas most people, they're not doing this. They're asleep. Neo, where are you? And once you embark on this journey, God helps you through it. But until you awaken, there will be suffering. And you will always risk being a slave to your negative thoughts or to the evil in the world who threaten people, but it's all just a bluff. The monster mind has no power. The forces of evil have no power at all. But we give them our power by believing in their power that they don't have. Does it make sense? Meaning the only power the forces of evil have are the power that we give them through our belief. It's like you're going to have faith in something. Might as well have faith in something good and not have faith in the powers of evil. And you can see this in your own life with your own thoughts. If you just stop believing your negative thoughts, they stop having power over you. But because we believe them and entertain them and ruminate on them, that's what drives us crazy. And then we feed them, they get stronger and stronger and stronger. We feel worse, get depressed, and die. That is literally what is happening to thousands of people all the time. Because they don't know how to manage their mind. They don't know how to overcome the ignorance in their own selves. It's like when you're depressed. You don't have to kill the body. You just have to kill the version of you that got you depressed. The one that's entertaining all the garbage, all the monster mind's nonsense. Because, well, this is a very mathematical process. Haven't you seen the yin yang? Here's a reminder. You got light, dark, you got truth, ignorance, you have life, and you have death. And you're oscillating in between these. And you're either growing closer to one or closer to the other. So the more you're living in ignorance, the more you suffer. And the more you're living in truth, the more you are free. The more you experience peace, love, joy, and abundance. Here's another one. Energy. Entropy. So when we perpetually focus on negativity, it drains us of our life force. And what takes its place? Death. Like when you turn the lights off to a room, darkness is what remains. That is why we suffer. That is what depression is. It's literally being consumed by death. And you can feel it. It's like a black hole just consuming you. But the only reason it consumes us is because we don't stop focusing on all the things that are wrong, on all the problems, on all the ways we're struggling, on all the ways we're not good enough. Because the monster mind is continuously planting seeds of doubt and fear and worry that we believe, and then it steals all of our life juices. And then it throws us away like an empty juice box. But the monster mind itself isn't even real. It's an illusion. Therefore, the only way it can affect us at all is if we're living in illusion. So too, the monster mind on a global scale feeds off the fear of the masses. And we are responsible for the death and destruction that happens as a consequence. And we think, oh, well, no, it's just them. It's just those evil people over there. No, we are responsible. Because without our power, they have no power. And you give your power away by believing their nonsense and feeding them your fear. But it's only because you tolerate your own mind's nonsense. Now, it's not our fault because we're all thrown in ignorance. And so the whole game is, well, we're going from ignorance into truth, trying to figure it all out. And some people do, some people don't. But you will, because you're here. And you wouldn't be here if you weren't going to figure it out. It's not even possible to be exposed to these ideas and not awaken. And the whole spiritual practice is you begin paying attention, awareness over here. You gain awareness to all the things that are creating suffering in your life. And you become free from them. You find that your reaction to this particular experience is causing a negative response in you. And that is a reflection of an underlying attachment, an underlying piece of ignorance that you're holding on to. And in that moment, if you have awareness, your awareness alone sets you free. Because the awareness is the part of you that is already free. It is only because we believe in what we are not, do we suffer, and are attached to our changing experiences. So you can see, or ask yourself this, what is this experience trying to teach me about myself, about my mind, about my attachments? Because life is always guiding you towards your highest spiritual growth, no matter what. But if we don't listen, if we get caught in the personal drama of it all, we just suffer miserably. But once you start looking for the evidence, you'll find it, and you'll exponentially grow spiritually. Because now you're actually trying. Now you're on the journey, trying to figure it all out. Where am I still stuck? And then you see the problems in your life, the struggles, are not problems anymore. They are opportunities to grow. You reframe the negativity to be an opportunity, and you dissolve it. You transmute that darkness into light. And that is how you overcome the forces of evil. Not by denying the darkness in yourself, but by overcoming it through transmutation. By asking yourself, well, what is this problem? How is this problem trying to help me? Not the other way around. Not, how is this problem ruining my life? You see, life is perfectly balanced between light and darkness. It's not about what you think is true. It's about what you choose to focus on. You can focus on all the things going wrong in your life, in the world, and you will suffer miserably because of it. And there's no end. There's no end to the suffering and misery everywhere. So you just have to ask yourself, how much of this do you want? Same thing over here. There's infinite good things happening all the time, all around us. But if you're not paying attention, you won't see it and you won't believe it. But it's all subjective. It's all about what you focus on, and that will be true for you. And think about it. The happy chemicals are released by what you think and what you focus on. So too the unhappy chemicals. So if you want to live a life of freedom and peace, love, joy, and abundance, you have to enter into truth and stop living in ignorance and embark on this journey of self-discovery. Because those who seek themselves find God, and those who seek God find themselves. Well, and at the end of this journey, what you will find is that you are the eternal. You are the divine essence of God, and there's no reason to fear. You are the light, so you don't got to be afraid of the dark. You are the truth, you are the life. That is what Christ was talking about. Don't you remember? He wasn't saying, hey, follow me, Jesus, the man. He was saying, look within yourself and find me, the Christ. Because I'm there. I'm in you. So why don't you look? He also said the kingdom of God is in you. You're already in heaven. You're only dreaming that you're not. And once you awaken from this dream, then you are free and enlightened. Congratulations, you've won. I am Ray. Join the spiritual revolution. Link is below. Much peace and many blessings. And remember, just be